As we approach the 2020 election, I hear people say they are not going to vote. And I have a question for them. Are we better off when we represent and engage the suffering of our nation, or when we draw back? I vote because I believe we need our political representatives to redraw borders. I'm not talking about gerrymandered districts, but expansive policy frontiers governed by mutual respect and compassionate justice. I am firm in my belief that Jesus calls us to end closed and corrupted systems that segregate and subjugate people. A few months ago, I traveled to New Mexico for an encounter at the U.S. border, and I learned firsthand what suffering looks like for immigrants. Politicians tell us there is a security crisis on the southern border. It's actually a humanitarian crisis. A dark-colored barrier cuts through the desert mesa like an iron ribbon. The metal barrier now blocks the view of the U.S. from Mexico. For some, the wall inspires a sense of safety and patriotism. For me, touching the metal in my hands, I felt sick, angry, sad, and confused. I would dismantle it with my own hands if it weren't 18 feet tall and anchored in 6 feet of concrete. My ministry also takes me to Baltimore to stand with community members facing deportation. But whether I'm learning about immigration policy at the border or accompanying families to ICE check-ins, I ground myself in the belief that God has no borders. God does not build walls to defend God's self and keep people away. The biblical message clearly lays out our job description: to welcome the stranger, because we are all pilgrims, wanderers, and foreigners in strange lands. It is so important to keep pressure on leaders who can focus national and community resources on those who are least likely to receive justice or equity. We can't force people to serve the oppressed, but we can at least keep people from starving to death. We can't force people to love the stranger, but we can at least keep pressure on those who take children from parents at the border and lock them away. We can resist and redraw the racist and xenophobic borders of white supremacy, and we can begin by voting for public servants who uphold the dignity and worth of all the people, of we, the people.